This is going to be a tutorial on how to make a little s'more charm. First you're going to need some clay. I use Sculpey Original. If you really want to, you can use the colored clay, but I prefer to paint it when I am done baking it. You're going to take some condition, some of it, and roll out into a relatively thin sheet. You don't want it to be too thin, otherwise it won't be very graham cracker shaped. And you can use a square cookie cutter or just shape it into a square. I prefer to use a cookie cutter, it's just easier. And see, it's kind of thick right now. You want to just press it down a little bit and keeping its shape. Alright, and once you have that done, you want to press down into like a 2x2 grid pattern on each side of the piece. And once you have this, to poke little holes into it to make more of a textured graham cracker look. I'm just using a normal needle tool. You can use the end of the pointy end of an eye pin or toothpick, whatever you prefer. And you want to do this to both sides. And once you're done doing that, it should look kind of like this. And after that, you can use just a regular toothbrush. You don't have to do this part, but I think it makes it look more textured and like a real graham cracker. You just kind of press it down lightly onto it, and you want to do this on both sides. You want to next just roll out a piece of thin clay, and you don't want it to be too thin, but you do want it to be a little bit thinner than the graham cracker was at first. But that's about how thick you want it to be. Then you want to just cut it out with the cookie cutter. And I use the dull part of my X-Acto knife, and you just want to create like a grid pattern on the piece of chocolate. Okay, once you have this, and it should look just about like that, what I do to make sure the pieces stay together, I use some liquid Sculpey, and I put a little bit on the back of the chocolate, the flat side, and just place it right on top of the graham cracker. It should look just like this. The next part's going to be to make the marshmallow, and you just want to take another piece like this, and you want to roll it into a short cylinder shape. So it should look just like this. And you want to do the same as you did with the chocolate. Put some liquid Sculpey on the bottom and press it down onto the top of the chocolate piece. It should look like this. And of course, if you want to make it into a charm, you're going to have to put in the eye pin. And what I like to do to make sure the eye pins stay in is I put it into the liquid Sculpey so it coats the part that sticks into the clay with liquid Sculpey. Just stick it in wherever you want it. I prefer the top of the charm. And it should look just like this. Alright, and I'm going to go bake this, and I will show you how to paint the other one that I had baked earlier. Alright, to paint this, you'll first start with the graham cracker. I like to use some tan, orange, and white to make the color. First you're going to take some of the tan paint and get a little bit onto whatever you're going to be mixing it on. I tend to just use a plate because I don't have any special place to do it. I'm going to get a little bit of that. You're just going to mix the three together, and it should make a nice graham cracker color. And paint the bottom and the sides wherever you can see the graham cracker. Alright, and once you have it painted, you're going to wait for this color to dry before you start any of the other colors. Okay, once you have the graham cracker part dried, you can go ahead and use brown to paint the chocolate. And you want to be pretty careful with this because you don't want it to get onto the graham cracker piece, and you also don't really want to get it on the marshmallow piece. Alright, and now that you have the brown painted, you can again wait for that to dry before moving on to the next step. Alright, now once the chocolate color is dried, you're going to want to take white paint and paint the top, the marshmallow part, all white. And once you have that painted, you're going to again want to let it dry.